Welcome to the 2026 Division III Hockey Frozen Four. 3 teams arrive with one goal, each hunting for their first national championship.
It doesn't get much bigger than this.
Each player has given everything to be here.
You can never count anyone out.
But then there's Hobart. 3 straight national championships. An undefeated season.
We know what we're chasing, and so does everyone else.
Hi, this is Chris with D3 Hockey News. We're back for another full 60, Frozen 4 edition. This year it's going to be in Utica, New York in the Adirondack Bank Center. Last year it was in the Nexus, but we're back in Utica. Before we get into the teams that are here, let's look at the bracket and discuss how we got here. The D3 Men's Hockey Frozen 4 in the NCAA tournament, it consists of 10 auto bids, 4 at-large bids. They get there by playing the regular season schedule, and then if you win your conference tournament, if it's applicable and qualifies for an auto bid, you're in the tournament. Otherwise, you're going to need to rely on the NPI, as we mentioned. That can get you an at-large bid. Our first team, the Aurora University Spartans, coached by head coach Jason Bloomingburg, defeated Endicott 3-2 in double overtime last weekend, the golden goal coming from Andrew Schultz. For Aurora, this is only their 12th season as a program, their 10th under head coach Jason Bloomingburg. They find themselves in their first ever Frozen Four. Aurora is one of the best offensive teams in the country. They excelled all year. They've been one of the best offensive teams for a few years now. Struggles maybe sometimes defensively, or they struggle against the transition game, which we may see coming into Game 1. Their opponent, another team who has never made a Frozen Four in school history, it'll be their first appearance, Hamilton College, the Continentals. Hamilton has a long history of hockey, spanning over 100 years. Now coached by Rob Haberbusch, they were able to squeak by Norwich 2-1 in overtime to get here. The winning goal was scored by Jackson Kroc, someone we're going to have to keep a close eye on this weekend. Hamilton's very good at playing as a unit. They're very disciplined, well-structured, great offense in transition. Against Aurora, they're really going to have to watch out for the high-powered offense that Aurora really generates every game this season. On the other side of the bracket, we have Wisconsin-Stout out of the WIAC. They're returning to the Frozen Four for the first time since 2009. The Blue Devils played last year's national runner-up in Utica. In the same rink they're going to be playing in for Game 1, beating them 5-1. Wisconsin-Stout is coached by head coach Mike MacDonald. Stout is very good at physicality. They're very fast, very skilled, and if they're going to want to beat Hobart, they're going to have to do everything perfect. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Hobart Statesmen, they've returned to the Frozen Four for the 4th straight year once again. Not only is Hobart chasing history, going for their 4th national championship, they're looking to become the first team to go perfect 31-0-0 with no losses, no ties. Head coach Mark Taylor and Hobart are coming off their very tough victory over St. Norbert at home, a place they haven't lost since 2022. Hobart's home winning streak is 69 games, the all-time record across all divisions in NCAA hockey. Their senior class never lost a home game. They like to get up on you early, play lockdown hockey afterward. No team has really been able to do much after that. We said once again that we're in Utica for the Frozen Four once again. Let's go talk to Jordan Lambert, the sports information director, on what it takes to host such an event.
Well, this year we had obviously a better idea of what was going to happen, but it doesn't get any less chaotic. There's still things that pop up during the week, and you're still getting stuff during the week of, right? Now that we knew the teams this year, they sent specific things for us to put in related to the 4 teams. However, I think the advantage was I knew what to look for. So it was very easy to kind of move through the things that you got to get done. And I want to give some credit to the Utica Sport Management Department, because this year around, I got so many student helpers. I had a small army yesterday of like 8 people come and help move stuff around. It's an interesting communication between you and the NCAA, because they know the championship, but they don't know the arena. You know the arena, but you might not know the championship. This year it's great because we know the championship, they know the arena, we know the arena. Everything's great. It's great together, so it just came together really perfectly this year. Having it last year was the greatest thing that we could have asked for. I've had a lot of people come up to me this week and go, "Hey, sorry you got to do this," and like, you know, it sucks you guys got taken out right beforehand and you're not in it anymore. I'm not going to deny that last year was a ton of fun. Like, it's crazy being in the moment. Your guys are there, like everyone's familiar is here. But just because you're not in it doesn't mean that you can't make it the greatest spectacle it can possibly be. It would be a disservice to not put my full heart into this event, because there's 4 other teams out there that are going to make lifetime memories here this year, and we want to be a part of making sure that they have the best memories possible to bring back to their families, their friends, to remember for the rest of their lives. We've been given a special opportunity to showcase our ability and showcase this arena and the community, and I just want people to remember this as best as it can possibly be. Those 4 teams they worked hard their entire lives to get to this point. They deserve to see the culmination of all their work pay off. So that's why we are continuing to do our thing, and we're going to make sure that they're taken care of, that they have the best experience possible.
Jordan and the rest of the Utica University Pioneer staff, they all do a great job. It wouldn't be possible to make videos like this without their welcoming, agreeance, and just letting us use their facilities. Head coach Melissa Lamonto of the women's hockey team allowing us to use their locker room. Awesome place. It makes the video 10 times better. Head coach Gary Heenan of the men's team allowing us to use his facilities and everything we need. Everybody around here just letting us essentially just really do whatever we'd like to do to make this video as good as it could be. We can't thank them enough. Now, let's talk to the head of the men's NCAA men's hockey committee, John Garver. We'll discuss with him the logistics of the NCAA's part in this whole thing. We talked to Jordan about the Utica aspect and the host site. Let's talk to John now about what goes in from the management standpoint.
Going back to when I was a player in this, I was fortunate to play in 3 of these, 95, 96, and 97. And it was very different, because when the tournament field was announced back then, it was you had a West region and you had an East region, and you had your 4 teams from the West, you had your 4 teams from the East, and you played down. And now it's different in a lot of ways. There's more automatic qualifiers because there's more conferences that have that. There are more teams, honestly, than there was back when I first became involved 30 years ago. And now I think with the way that things work, it was much more subjective then. You know, you would get to, okay, this is kind of what we're looking at for the 4 teams here and the 4 teams there. We're going to sequester a committee in a room, and they are going to come out with what they think the field is going to be. And now it's more mathematical now, and it leaves a lot less room for subjectivity. But I think the flip side of that is that it's also allowed us to be a little more flexible and make things a true national tournament, as opposed to a regional tournament that plays down into 4 teams remaining at one site. It is more of a true look nationally when you start seeding 1 through 14. And we've been able to take the resources that are available to us and allow teams to travel cross-region in those early rounds and truly make it a national tournament as opposed to regional. I don't know if people realize the logistics that are involved when you host an event like this. And you may not think it's a big deal because there's only 4 teams here, but you're going back months of phone calls, of site visits, of doing everything you need to do to make sure you're putting this event on the way that you want it to be put on. And the hosts play such a key role in being able to make or put us in a position to do this event the way that we want to be able to do it. And very, very grateful to Utica and to, not just the university, but the facility, the city, everybody for opening it up for us to be able to come here and put this event together the way that we do truly want to be able to do it. Behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on than I think anybody really realizes. I get asked, okay, so what exactly do you do? And it's more than just putting a bracket together. I mean, you are making sure that everything runs smoothly and runs on time. You are making sure that travel logistics are taken care of. You're making sure that locker rooms are assigned and teams aren't crossing each other in the hallways when they're walking to and from the ice surface. You're a liaison with the team, so you're making sure that the teams have everything they need. If they don't, what can I get for them? What can I do to make them comfortable? What can I do for them to make this the best possible experience that they're going to have? Because not everybody gets to play in more than one of these. And for a lot of players and coaches, this is kind of the pinnacle of their hockey career here. And we want to make sure that they have the best experience possible. And that means a lot of behind the scenes work. It means a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. When you find out on the Sunday that you are going to be hosting and teams are arriving on Wednesday, it doesn't leave you a lot of time to get a lot of those small details in place, and things can fall through the cracks. We're fortunate that we're back-to-back years in the same location. The people here know how we want to run the event. They're very open to, this is what we're going to do and this is why we're going to do it. And they've done a phenomenal job. But I truly, there's truly an advantage to knowing ahead of time that this is what your site's going to be.
Thanks to John and the rest of the NCAA committee. It's nice to see that the D3 on the men's and women's side is finally getting a true bracket so we can get these fun matchups that we've always wanted for, and money's being spent in the right places. Now, let's go over to Scott Huston, the western part of this whole operation. Whether it be his weekly articles, graphics, you've probably seen him many times before on the website.
I've been covering D3 hockey since 2023 when I started with D3 Hockey News, and being here in Utica for my first men's Frozen Four, it's an honor to be able to be here and cover such a massive event. The excitement, you can just kind of walk around the building, see around town, the excitement's in the air. Having been to four prior women's Frozen Fours, I kind of had a feel of how the setup was going to be, so it's not entirely foreign because those were tremendous events as well, but seeing this, with two Central New York teams here, and being in close proximity to those, and also with a couple teams coming from way out of town, it's awesome to see so many people get so excited over a great event, and I'm sure it's going to live up to the hype. Having followed the sport for a few years now, in the past it's been frustrating to not see those East versus West cross-region matchups in prior years, but I do think it's great that the NCAA has finally allowed those to happen, a little earlier in the tournament even, and now this year we've got two in the Frozen Four. I definitely think the physicality is where you have to start. For them to be able to lay the body without kind of going over that line and taking penalties, that's going to be one of the keys for both teams in their semifinals. I also think the speed aspect is something that we have to keep an eye out for, particularly with Aurora. Their north and south speed is something that not many teams can match, not even in their own league, let alone other teams outside the league in the East that aren't quite as used to it. I also think that, with that speed and that offensive ability that both teams can drive play, they're prone to some turnovers on the back end and not covering their goaltender and being quite as structured as some of the East teams we've seen over the years. So I think being able to toe that line is going to be a big impact for both of those programs.
Now let's go to our first matchup of the day at 3 p.m. Eastern, Hamilton and Aurora. These two teams are very different. Hamilton is very structured. They work very good as a unit. Aurora, high-powered offense. They've been good all year, been good for the past couple years on offense. Their leadership group is their key. We're going to see what they can do on offense, and with Hamilton, it's just going to be, can they weather the storm? Can they win the transition game? And the goaltending on both sides is obviously going to play a huge role. These two teams have never faced each other. Aurora coming from near Chicago, Hamilton coming from near Clinton, New York. Let's see if they're contrasting styles, East versus West. A lot of factors. Let's go talk to the coaches and see what they think.
It means everything for us to be here. I mean, we've had hockey at Hamilton for over 100 years now, so to be the first team to reach the Frozen Four is an incredible accomplishment. But at the same time, we don't want to settle for just being here. There's only 4 teams left. anyone can win this thing. Why not us? So we just want to play well and play Hamilton hockey.
It's unbelievable. It means the world to me, but most importantly because of all my guys, administration, my family, everyone that's put dedication into this, and it's just euphoric. I'm not quite sure if I can explain it enough for people to realize what it's taken to build and get here, but we're enjoying every second of it.
Yeah, I think some moments that stand out for us this season was the Utica Thanksgiving tournament. We drew Utica in the championship game, so we were in this very building, in front of a tough crowd. This is a tough place to play. And, we were able to beat them and take the championship. So I think that was a big eye-opener for our team. And then I think another time for us is always our winter break. When we come back and the students aren't back, classes aren't in session, so we're just here as a hockey team, and we can really dig into the details, and our team really always takes off over that time, and that started to happen again this year. And I think those were a couple times where you could see the potential for this team was really high.
I think ultimately we can look back, and it was probably the loss to Geneseo last year to where we could have hosted a Frozen Four. Talking microcosm, you can look behind more things than that, but I think that ultimately you have to learn how to lose a little bit before you learn how to win, and especially crushing knowing you're hosting a Frozen Four. If you win that game, you're up 3-0 with about 2.5 minutes left in the second, and it seems like the walls close in on you a bit, and that, I don't know, as a player or coach, if a loss has ever stayed with me like that, and we took it personal. But when you look back, it's years of rigging things and developing this program with a mentality and mental toughness to be in these situations, whether we go to the start of the year tournaments and we treat it like a Frozen Four, whether it's in practice, we're playing 5 minutes down by a goal. Everything we've done is to build us for this situation.
We rarely play a team from the West, and I think that's what this time of the year is all about. We have 2 Eastern teams here, we have 2 Western teams here. It's kind of that unknown that makes everything exciting. You're sitting there on Sunday waiting to, watching the selection show, like, where are we going, who are we playing, and it's like 72 hours later you're there. So these 2 programs have never met, so it's going to be a great game, I'm sure.
Thought it was awesome. I think, it's a good matchup for us. Obviously, they're a quality team. They do a great job there. Rob, I've known for a long time. I think ultimately, though, the biggest message we go for our guys, it's about us. No one beats us but us. Everything we do, we focus on us. We don't change what we do. We just harp on the details and focus on the little things that make us extremely good in these situations. And to me, it's just another game in a big situation. And, everything we do, like I said, is to rig our team to be the best we can be, but it's about the guys in that room and our staff, our trained staff, everybody. It's another opponent. Yeah, they're good, but the more you start to focus on someone else, the less you start to focus on yourself, and the details and everything go with it.
I think what matters about this weekend is just, it's a validation of all the work that these guys have put in. It's the commitment level. I mean, the amount that you have to give just to be a college hockey player it's immense. But, to get to this stage, it's a reward for all that hard work that these guys have put in.
Probably from the outside looking in, that whoever wanted to listen, that I told them we would get here. It was just a matter of time. It was never an if. For me, it was always a win. And I think, building the program and, the tough days that didn't look great, or why'd they hire this guy, or why'd they do that. And to me, Chris, we've got to know each other over the years. I'm very confident in what we do. And to me, it just had to get the right group, build the right way. And it was ultimately, this moment was made for that. And we got here by doing all the things the right way. And we didn't cut any corners doing it. So to me, this was always in the script. It was just going to take a little time.
For our second game of the day, another brand new matchup. We have Wisconsin-Stout and the 3-time national champions, Hobart College. Hobart's looking to continue their undefeated streak, continue their historic run, go for the 4-peat. Wisconsin-Stout's looking to play spoiler, coming in from the west in the WIAC. Not many people expect them. It's going to be a very physical game. Stout said they wanted to play very clunky against Utica, which they did. Make the game kind of turn on its head, make you play an inconsistent style that you're not used to. Hobart's going to keep doing Hobart. It's going to be interesting to see.
Seeing Hobart for the first time, something that it's been on my bucket list for a while, and there's no better place to do it here than when they're chasing history, right? I think going for the 4-peat, going for perfection, something that we've never seen before with no losses and no ties. I think that's something that's special for me, and having watched them a lot virtually from back in Minnesota, it's definitely going to it'll make a bigger impact on me, knowing that they just have 4 lines, 3 D pairs of consistent play, everybody working together, pulling on the same rope, and just so much hard work, so much speed. I'm super excited to see how they match up.
Oh, we're excited to go into the SUNYAC. I mean, it's been a long-standing league with a lot of great teams in it over decades, and wasn't a ton of change schedule-wise. I mean, we've been playing a lot of those teams as non-conference. It's just putting another sticker next to the name on the schedule in terms of who we're playing league, who we're playing non-league. Elmira's been our league partner, now they're our non-league partner. So, not a big change really. Just kind of rebranding, so to speak, but a little bit of a good thing because we had a new challenge. We had won the NEHC, and now it's time to see if we could win the SUNYAC. And they invited us into the league, and we wanted to come in and do good things in the league. And I'm glad it worked out that way. And hopefully we're carrying their flag right now in good standing. I don't know what it represents to the program other than just another major accomplishment, and just makes things even that much more special every time you win, every time you accomplish something. Haven't really given it much thought. I'm basically stay in the moment and stay locked in on what's ahead of us. And sorry, I don't got a better answer for that, but it's certainly great for the school, the program, and the department. We know what we're doing that helped us accomplish what's behind us, and we're just focused on doing the same thing the same way. And everybody that we're playing is going to be good, and they're going to challenge us, and we've got to be at our best. And we're keeping it as simple as that.
It's a tremendous accomplishment for our team, but in the big picture of UW Stout hockey and the school and where we are, truthfully, I don't think about it at all. And I don't think our team thinks about it very much either. We're focused on hockey and just getting through the next game, and all that stuff we'll reflect on afterwards. But in the moment, I think it just adds pressure to think about the big picture and what all this means.
We've had a lot of fun, and we've had to compete a lot. We've had to earn a lot of things. We faced a lot of challenges from, a ton of different teams. So probably been a lot of those moments when we look back. Certainly last weekend, was a special to see the guys. I mean, that was tough going down there for that game, knowing what half my team was going through, and I was just hoping we wouldn't go out because of that, and certainly knew the bear standing ahead of us. So I'm glad the guys were able to bring it together and dig down deep and get it done.
Very early, we played a game against St. John's at home, and I think we were down 2 goals in the second period, but we felt that we were carrying play and getting the majority of the scoring chances, and the bench energy was so calm, so positive, but also confident in a way that I hadn't felt in years previous. And I knew that was a good sign, certainly. And then going into St. Norbert, our first game after the Christmas break, and truthfully, we didn't play our best game, and neither did they. But they had a couple goal lead on us, and we were able to capitalize on the mistakes that they made. And at that point, it's just okay, we beat one of the best teams traditionally in D3 at home. That's a great accomplishment, and certainly put us on a trajectory where we knew we had a pretty high ceiling. at this point of the tournament, regardless of who you're matched up against, you're against a really good team. And so, like, of the 3 potential opponents, we knew that if we beat Utica, we were most likely going to play Hobart. We knew St. Norbert had a chance to win that game. But truthfully, like, we've played St. Norbert before, and it's kind of pick your poison. So, like, to us, who we ended up playing didn't really matter that much. I would say our guys are more excited than anything because it's a tremendous opportunity to have the chance to knock off a undefeated team, 3 straight national championships. Like, if we're gonna win this thing, like, we would almost prefer to go through Hobart. So that's kind of how we're looking at it.
Our approach won't be a ton different. I mean, our whole thing is do what we do to the best of our abilities. Certainly there's, some X and O stuff that you have to adjust to, that somebody could exploit us on. There's some things that you adjust to that we think we can exploit somebody else on. But, the overall thing is make sure we show up here in the mindset that we need to play our best hockey. I mean, the guys coined the phrase a number of years ago, be the best versions of themselves every single day. And that's what we show up to do, and bring it with full effort and the right type of character. I mean, that's, I would say 85-90% of it is us coming and being our best selves.
I mean, we understand the situation we're in. Just being a Western team, a lot of the eastern side of the D3 hockey, they don't know a lot. When I was coaching out east, I didn't know the West very much at all. I knew the Blue Bloods, and then everyone else was just, kind of lumped in the middle. And, currently we're one of the others. I would say to anyone outside of kind of the Western, yeah, we look on paper to be underdogs, but, if you go elite prospects on a roster and, look at the results of the teams we played, like, realistically, like, we're just as good as anyone else here. We just don't have the brand recognition that some of those other teams have. And when there's 91 D3 teams, you can't know everyone really well. And it takes multiple years of getting to this stage to really, hit to be one of those big name teams. And, that's certainly what we're trying to do.
After 2 great games, we've now got our matchup set for the finals. We've got Hobart going to continue their historic run. We've also got Hamilton, after 100 years of hockey, looking to win their first national title. Thank you for watching episode 1 of the 2026 Men's D3 Hockey Frozen 4 Full 60. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.